I am so glad you are here. It is alive on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. So let's get into it, shall we? First, what are we drinking? What are we wearing? Well, my tea today, kind of becoming my favorite for the moment, lemon balm, ashwagandha, a little burdock, and a cardamom pod. Oh, scrumptious. Delicious. What are we wearing? Well, beyond my various marriage rings, I've got a beautiful little pentacle in here with an amethyst. I've got this little rough cut beauty. I've got this, another amethyst, and this little silver ring here. The other rings are all about the fact that I was married until I wasn't. Not divorced. I'm a widow. But that's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm drinking. So let's get on to coming in for a reading and who reads when and what the schedule looks like. We've got readers almost every minute we're open as a general rule, and many of the staff are also qualified as readers here. To qualify, you audition. You have to show several things when you audition. You have to show that you know what the system you're using well. So if you are using tarot, you can't be looking up stuff in a book. If you're using runes, you really got to know the meanings of what you're looking at right off the bat. You also have to be capable of giving a good reading, and you have to be capable of giving a reading that doesn't necessarily use the language you could get away with using with your friends. So it's a slightly more polite sort of language style that we look for. It makes sense. You're reading for strangers, and you do literally audition. You give, usually me, I'm the one doing the interviews, so it's usually me, just a short reading, a 5 to 10 minute reading, just to show that you know what you're doing. And that almost always goes fairly well. So the readers then get to come in on the schedule they want to adopt. We encourage a stable, steady schedule because it helps you guys find them when you want them. Hi, good to see you. The readers that are coming in, oh, and thank you for asking how I'm doing. I am doing pretty well today. It's a stressful world, but we are plowing ahead. We've got some exciting events coming up to tell you about for that. But the readers. So if you would like a reading from Eshu, who does palmistry and tarot, which means he's auditioned on both, he's here on Sundays, the whole day, noon to 6. He is here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm sorry, there's 4 days. He's here on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays, the whole afternoon, noon to 6. Thursdays, just the first half, noon to 3. He splits that day with another reader. And Saturdays, again, noon to 3, because he's splitting that day with another reader. If you want an oracle card reading from probably Daryl, and I recommend even just getting a tour of the deck, which he will show you his deck for free because it's unique to him and designed specifically by him. I will not say painted, or because he definitely did it with some assistance, but it's his design work. It's beautiful. It's a large oracle deck, and it's cut in hexagons, so you can lay them out next to each other, which is amazing. And Miriam, if you want to start streaming, by all means, reach out to us through the Facebook page, and I'm happy to have a little conversation with you about it. But Daryl is here on Mondays from noon to 2, only here till 2, Tuesdays 3 to 6, and Fridays 4 to 6. Morpheus does dream interpretation on Mondays for the rest of that day, starting at 2 until we close up at 6. And the wonderful Ravenwolf is in doing his tarot readings, noon to 3 on Tuesdays, 3 to 6 on Thursdays, and 1 to 4 on Fridays. Again, Miriam, happy to talk to you about streaming, but that's not what this cast is about. So do feel free to reach out through Facebook and we can chat there. If I got everybody, oh, and Margaret, the wonderful Margaret, is in on Saturdays from 3 to 6. So if you're looking for a reading from Margaret, you got one shot a week. She's very good. They're all very, very good. They're all $2.50 a minute plus tax. And of course, when you come up to the register, whoever's at the register might ask you if you would like to leave the reader a tip. It is not obligatory, but of course, we're going to ask on their behalf, just in case. And then they will get that tip usually shortly after you leave. Some people bring cash and they tip out with cash. when they leave the reader's table, and that's great too, but we're also happy to wrap it into your purchase. Hey, Miriam, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, I'm happy to answer them. These other questions are just things that are not appropriate for this time and space, but thank you so much for your comments. So that's the readers. Now, what have we got coming up for, where's my class list? Oh, there she is. Let's look at our class list. And I have 2 reminders on here because I keep forgetting to say that there's off-street parking in this neighborhood if you need it. The street parking that we have is completely free, which is unusual for Minneapolis, but it is on our block and the nearby blocks. And sometimes that means you can get a spot right in front of the store, and that's fantastic. But if you can't for any reason and you're struggling, there is a church, a Catholic church, St. Clement's, 1 block south of us, and it is on the back side of the block. So they are a half a block west of us. So if you go on Lowry, when you get to Lowry and Central, go a half a block west, and you will be able to turn into their parking lot, and you are welcome to park there. We have cleared that. Many of the small businesses in this neighborhood who don't have independent parking lots have cleared that with the church specifically. I've spoken with somebody at the parish office, which is not at St. Clement's. That's a sort of a satellite church for the Catholic Church in this area, but they're very happy to share that parking lot. And their church is on the south side of the block, and you want to park on the north side anyway. So you're parking in the worst spot for the parishioners and the best spot to come and shop on our block. Grab a meal, come in here, get your bike fixed. There's all kinds of wonderful things you can do here. What can you do here in the store? Well, let me tell you, this Saturday on Valentine's Day, probably Daryl is doing his 2nd container magic class. And we talked about this earlier last week when he was here for the interview for this show. And this time we're going to be doing little yarn dolls. And if you want to come in as part of maybe a romantic afternoon, Valentine's extravaganza, you could take this class with a partner and grab a couple of the magnetized hematite that we've got, and then you put one in the head of each, and then they can kiss, or put one in the hands and they can hold hands. So all kinds of wonderful things. Ooh, somebody's trying to call me when I'm not available. Goodbye to them. So that one's coming up on Saturday. On Sunday the 15th, Reiki 1, if you're interested, do sign up. It's always fun. And the grief group is meeting, the group that Ms. Settergren is running to help with people who have chronic disease issues or are battling cancer, which is what started her on this journey to gain an understanding of the resources that are available for people who maybe are more alternative in their spirituality and what we all need to get through these kinds of crises in our lives. She has also been a volunteer at another location with another agency and is now starting this support group specifically for folks like us who might not be able to get the kind of support they really need because there are certain religious barriers in the way. So come check that out if that's you, if you're dealing with rheumatoid arthritis, cancer. It can be a condition that is simply debilitating and difficult to deal with. It can be a disease like cancer, anything that's long-term where you have to deal with caregivers and well-intentioned people that don't always come across the right way, and all of the things that happen to us when we go through something dramatic and long-term and severe. So come down for that if that's you. That is a completely free event. It's not even a by donation event. The container magic class, for example, is one of our by donation events. So the teacher is hoping you will take the class and enjoy it and pay something for that wonderful experience. In the case of the group by Settergren, that is not the case at all. It's a completely free event. Of course, on Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, you might still see some lights on in the shop, even after we close, because I'm teaching Herbalism Year 1 and Herbalism Year 3 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for, oh my goodness, the foreseeable future. They are 9-month-long series. There are 3 of them. Theoretically, there's 4 because I had a group of third years who wouldn't go when they were done. So I have some all-day seminars because of those guys. Bless them. They were all amazing students to have in the class. It was really a joy, as are the students this time around. This is some of the best students right now. It's so amazing. Coming up on Saturday the 21st, so a week after this coming Saturday, Journey into Magical Practice will be meeting here for their in-person component of their work. So they do an online Zoom class, but they also have a ritual component, and that will be here in this very room, in our classroom here. That's pretty much all day. That's they've got the room all day long. I don't think that they're starting at noon. I think they're preparing at noon for something like a 2 p.m. start. So, and Miriam, again, reach out through Facebook if you want to reach out. The following Sunday, the 22nd, we've got sort of the Gardnerian Pre-Initiate discussion group happening. If you're interested in checking that out, you're welcome to. That's at 10. I would recommend pre-registering because we're not open. So it's good to know to expect you to make sure we unlock the door when you get there. There's a Reiki share at noon, so soon after that, when we do open. And Palmistry 101 is at 4 p.m. and SU should be back teaching that. I will not be coming in and subbing again, we hope. He's amazing and he will get in depth. So last time he wasn't able to be here, and I just did a quick gloss of, many basics of palmistry for the people who came to the class, and it was a real delight to be able to teach that. But he's going to get into the nitty-gritty and go a little deeper, which is going to be a fascinating study. So if you're into palmistry or want to be, come check that out. That's another by donation class. That's on the 22nd at 4 p.m. The last Saturday of the month, the 28th, the last day of February, Alliance Coven will be back meeting again at noon. So if you're interested in checking them out, this is their intro series. You don't have to have attended the previous ones to show up at this one just to check them out. They're a really good group of people and they present their information really well, intelligently, and are really open to the kinds of questions that you might have based on what they're talking about that time. There's a whole list of topics for them. So by all means, check it out on our website, magisbooks.com, and get all the details on all of these. In fact, if you click the QR code that, if you can see it, is going to be up in this corner, that's going to take you to our events page and you'll be able to check out all of the events there. Is there anything else? Oh, yes. We also have Magical Astrology with Adam on that Sunday, the 28th, and that's at 3. So noon to 2 for Alliance Coven, and then starting at 3 for Magical Astrology. This has been the best series that Adam's done. It's been the one people have absolutely loved. There's always people coming to the class. It's always a fun time, and it's another by donation class. Right now, all of our divination classes are by donation classes, and we've been having a blast with them. So there's the Tarot Lab, there is Palmistry 101, there's Magical Astrology. They're all wonderful. I recommend checking them out. Again, that QR code will take you right to the events page. So that's what's happening. So let's talk. And if you are watching this and you're wondering about other social medias, thanks for asking, Miriam. You can catch this on Facebook, YouTube, where I will repost them, Instagram, Kik, and there's one more, and I honestly can't tell you what it is. I don't know what the little purple thing means. But we're up on 5 different social medias, so you can always reach out to us through any of those. But I have some amazing things that have come in by local makers recently. They're absolutely wonderful, and I cannot wait to show you. I'm going to start with, I'm going to call it the bargain basement one. I love these. So I have so many. I'm going to show you how many I have, and then I'll let you see it up close of 1 or 2. All of these amazing keychains. They're $5 each. I know, it's a great price by Probably Daryl. And so they range from, the very cute. Here's one with a moth. We've got moths. We've got butterflies. There are Celtic knot pieces here. Some of them are quite wee and precious, like these. So this one actually has, see if I can display it properly there, 2 little charms on it. They are wonderful. 2, there are ones that have crystal points on them. So look at that. It's a little tiny mini pendulum. And it's your keychain. I think that's incredibly clever. There are tarot cards on here. There are crosses. There are metallic symbols, symbolic representations of little arrowheads. There's all kinds of fun stuff to choose from here. I see some pentacles. I see some glorious golden moons. There's another pendulum. This one has a whole bunch of little keys on it. And if I can grab one of the moons, I will show you the moons. We grab all these. So we've got here They like each other. Well, then I will show you together. We've got a moon and a pentacle, and we've got this adorable dragon. Again, we'll get them apart for you, when you want them. But they're all $5. They're from Probably Daryl. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it's one of our readers, the guy who did his own Oracle deck. And if you are looking for us on any of our socials, Miriam, you can absolutely look for Magus Books and Herbs, which is what we are here and pretty much everywhere. That said, Probably Daryl has also been playing a little bit with some molds, and he's done some of these beautiful pieces with a little black light paint. So some of these will glow for you under black light, which is fun. I think I showed these to you guys a few weeks ago, but since I was grabbing Probably Daryl stuff, I thought I would grab a few more bits and bobs, including there are several skulls. There's a clear one with gold flake in it, and of course a 5 votive candle holder right here. They're just fun and they're affordable. I mean, this is $35. This skull is only $20. You know, those little plates, because they're kind of like the beginner version for him, they're $5 for these guys, $5 each. They're a steal. Some of these things you will find up online, some you will not. The keychains, for example, there's just too many, the varieties are too big, so we're just doing this one thing. But these next pieces you will find. So these are pieces from Megan. She is a delight. She is a DFL historian, I'll have you know. But she's gotten into carving lately. I've shown some of her cross-stitch work in the past, but this is a Celtic knot she's carved up on a tile. It's $25 for a hand-carved. I don't even mean Dremel carved. I mean actually hand-carved. How do I know? The Dremel didn't arrive until the day I came to pick these up. And then we have this lovely beauty as well from her for $35. It's a little bit more work, you got to admit. So beautiful little tiles, perfect for decor, perfect for trays, all kinds of coasters, all kinds of fun things you can use those for. You can do spell work on them. And then I have to show you DMOC's work. So DMOC has done these ritual tarot pouches. Now this one happens to be done, I get up close so you can see the design work on the leather. This is reclaimed Italian leather that DMOC has put together for your basic tarot kit. It's your standard size tarot kit. And let me just, he's got a little cardboard stay in there to help it hold its shape, but it's this beautiful little tarot bag. And this one is a little real door knocker, a little lion door knocker. They're all going to be unique. So these are up online right now. You can see them, but everything's hand stitched. And this is the same leather, with the same embossed design with a little flower closure, same basic style of putting it together. And I don't know if you can hear, there's a couple little treats rattling around in there just to bring a little extra joy to whomever buys this piece. And of course, then the key to your knowledge and your heart are at the end of the cord. And I've got one more to show you. He brought in 3 for us. Here is the third and final one we've got with that pretty moon button or piece as a closure. And another little key on the end. Let's see there. I'm the best backdrop to see that. So they're all like this. There are some other styles coming out soon from DMOC, but for now, this is what's here. It's all available. It's all beautiful and definitely worth exploring. Ooh, let me get that on a little bit better. There we go. You gotta love these. They're just so cute and adorable. We're talking about getting a showing here soon. He would likely be the second showing because I've got somebody I really want to get in. We're just waiting for this room to get painted, and I did speak with somebody about that yesterday who has offered to come in and get that painting done, and I am so grateful. So there's a little bit of touch-up painting to do out on the store floor, but it's mostly just this room, and we have a little over a couple gallons of our paint left, which is sort of a parchmenty color. That's the color of the shop. You guys never get to see that online here. You can only see it if you come in the store until this room is painted, and then you'll see what the whole store is painted in. It's really nice. It's a nice neutral backdrop so that when we do have art shows in here coming up, I hope in the next few months, we are able to show off that art with a relatively neutral backdrop color. It's not going to be sheer white. And for those of you into art, please don't come at me. It's not going to be sheer white because this is also a classroom. It has multiple purposes. And having a very sterile looking room for a classroom is just not a great choice. So I think this is a really good compromise to have sort of a warm, sort of biscuity, parchmenty sort of color as the background. It's going to be gorgeous. It's perfect out in the store floor. Goes with the wood flooring perfectly. It's just fantastic. You also never get to see you can see the wood flooring. Nope, it's over on this side, tiny little corner down there. So really looking forward to getting that done. So grateful that somebody said, I'll come do it. Thank you. But that is what's going on. Oh, I didn't talk about one of the events. I'm so glad actually I got left till the end. So one of the things that's coming up this Sunday, the 16th, is what we're calling the Resistance Ritual. If you are interested, if you're going to be here in the Twin Cities on Sunday the 15th, and you're interested in coming in and participating in a little ritual designed to help you charge a talisman you already have, some trinket, talisman, amulet, something that you can bring that we will all as a group be charging for protection, for yourself, for our community. It's going to be a very simple ritual. It will start here for sure. We will meet up here. We'll have some permanent markers if you want to make some embellishments to things. And just to make it easy to find your item when the ritual's over, because it's going to go into a large cauldron. We're going to be providing just some Ziploc bags and some tagboard type paper so you can write something really big, a design, a word, whatever you want to write on that, and pop that and the amulet into the plastic bag and seal it up so that it's sort of like having luggage tags on your item so that it's not too hard to find when it all is said and done. The number of people who sign up will determine whether we start here and then go to a nearby park that's a couple blocks from here, or whether we're able to stay here. This room for a moving ritual can probably accommodate about 24 people. So if more than 24 people sign up, we will plan to start here, go over the basics, spend like maybe an hour gathering, describing what's going to happen, which is a really effective, really simple ritual, ideal for a large group, and go over to the park if we need to, and then come on back to warm up. It is Minnesota. It's warm this week. It's going to be warm this weekend, but it's going to be warm for February in Minnesota. It's not going to be hot, not by any stretch of the imagination. But if we have 24 or less, we'll just stay here. We'll do the ritual here. We'll make sure we clear this room out as completely as we can, because there's always, you never see it because it's off to the sides. I've got 3 small tables for a class coming up tonight, a whole bunch of chairs. There's a whiteboard that I'm always staring at when I'm talking to you guys, plus a whole host of chairs that can be put away. So we'll clear it out if we're not getting up to the 25 or more. But if we get 25 or more, we'll move the actual ritual location to Jackson Flats Park. It should be a really good time. Not a long ritual, but a powerful ritual and an effective ritual. Absolutely encouraging musicians, if you want to bring something, and I don't necessarily mean professional musicians, if you've got a bodhran or some other kind of drum, or you play guitar for fun, and you want to bring that to contribute to the overall energy that we're bringing into the ritual, feel free. It is not required. I'm not bringing any musical instruments, and there are several I can play, and it's not even really requested. It's just openly embraced if it occurs. So this is being hosted by us here at Magus Books, and I'll be there for the ritual, as well as Witches Brews MN, which you can find on Facebook. So they do have a Facebook page. They meet up about once a month in a first ring suburb in a little space, a little bar restaurant, which is a really nice space, actually. One of the people heavily involved in that group used a big birthday of theirs, one that ends in a 0, as a fundraiser for a charity. She had wonderful acts. It was just a really, really great time and a wonderful event. I know I donated a year's worth of herb classes to that event, and that was great. That student was amazing. Loved teaching her, loved having her in the classes. Fantastic time had by all. So if you are interested, again, go to the QR code if you can see it up in that corner. of your screen. If you cannot see it, then magusbooks.com and just go to our events tab. It's right across the top of the screen when you first get into the site. You can also like go into the store and find it that way. But why? Why would you do that? Just see the word events and click on that. And you'll be able to get the details of what's going to be happening. I'm also following up for those who register with a little informational email, so you get that information to have in your inbox. There are also some other things in the works here for events that might be coming up, particularly for those of you who have been volunteering and protesting regarding some of the general unrest that's been happening here in the Twin Cities and throughout Minnesota. I don't have details on that yet because we are not organizing it. We will be providing space for it should it occur here. We've already volunteered. They reached out to us and we said, absolutely, we will volunteer our space. I will be volunteering my time because somebody with a key has to. But it is a way for the folks who've been volunteering and might need some help with all of those things to get together, maybe share a meal, maybe share some healing services, or like maybe some of our readers might want to volunteer to come do readings for one of those evenings. It should be a really nice get together. Again, they have a whole host of people volunteering services, everything from people volunteering to come in and do minor clothing repair. If your favorite jean jacket got ripped up, got a little tear in it at a protest, there's someone who will bring a darning needle and they'll patch it up a little. They will get you. They're just trying to be a community that supports each other, and they were looking for space, so we volunteered that space, and hopefully that will come together. There's apparently going to be a soft launch coming up in the not too distant future somewhere across town. Don't want to get real specific, but so look for that on some of your more private communication methods, and we look forward to seeing you if that's you. Just getting some more of my little tea there. I've got to say my burdock has cleared up my eczema almost 100%. It's almost all gone, despite my ignoring it for a week at one point. The warmer weather we're having here is also having an impact, and that's making it much easier for my body to maintain my skin's integrity. A little good magic in burdock, right? It's fantastic. It does all kinds of amazing and wonderful things. So usually at this point, there'd be some kind of interview, some lovely topic. So I cast around for a topic today. I really did. I tried. What's everybody else talking about online? What are we thinking? What are we doing? And I listened to a rant about self-care. And, if you have the option for a free vaccination, go get it. And, if you need glasses, find a way to get them. Everyone deserves to see. That was good. That was good. But I think probably just because of all of the overwhelming pressure so many of us have felt in this part of the United States recently, just not inspired. Or what's the difference between pagan, Wiccan, and witchcraft? I don't agree with any of those definitions. So maybe not the best topic for me to dive into. I would probably be a little controversial, particularly since I think that the definitions for those terms change depending on who you ask and even what day of the week it is. So be prepared for flexibility. If you're working with definitions and you're really looking to nail it down, I've got to be honest, it's very fluid. And the folks who do get stuck on definitions, it always looks to me like it's a little bit regional. It's just not that way. So yeah, I think because of everything that's been going on, the only thing I'm really inspired to chat with you guys about is maybe a little bit more on things like the ancestor worship I talked about on Tuesday during Magical Tuesday. And for those of you who haven't heard, we do little 5-minute videos, roughly 5 minutes, every other day of the week. This is the only long format we do. So I'm up there. I do pre-record Friday and Saturdays live because it's true. I do not come to work 7 days a week. I'm sorry. Often 6, but never 7. And so my weekend is Friday and Saturday, and I pre-record those. So I've already got one on pendulums for Saturday for you guys. And Fridays, what was Fridays? Ooh, I don't recall what stone I did on Friday, but I did a beautiful stone. And next week, I'm probably doing yellow jasper or zebra jasper. I've got to be honest, because there's some we were able to bring in. So we've got a little bit again. Got a few more stones. We did get a stone shipment in, and then we've got a few more again. So we're building out. It's going to be grand, I tell you. Got an herb order in last week as well. There were some delays with that one on the part of the herb distributor, but that's here. So I'm looking at the next herb order now that we've got that one squared away. Again, just trying to get all those holes filled in because you guys love those herbs so much. Whether you're ordering them online or coming into the shop, we're noticing you want more herbs, and we've got you covered. We're going to get more and more in, I promise. And for those of you looking at some of our specialty herbs, we're working on those too. They are a larger order when we order them, so we've got to have the pennies to get those in. So we're getting there on those. We're slowly but surely getting there. So yeah, the things that come up when I think about ancestor worship, I think in several different ways. My husband was adopted. So, and I had many friends growing up who were adopted. So I always think of that as twice blessed. In my case, having been raised by my biological parents, I have both the genetic inheritance and a cultural inheritance from them, as well as the inspirational inheritance from people who I've admired through the years and my friends. And those four components make up my family in my head. So when I think of ancestor worship, I think of my biological foremothers and forefathers. I think of my cultural foremothers and forefathers. But I also think about my friends and the impact they've had on my life. And I think about the people who've inspired me also as my ancestors, no matter how distantly related to them I am as a human being. And so when I think in terms of setting up an ancestor altar, I don't always even think of people who have passed away. Absolutely, if I were going to set up an ancestor altar in late high school, I would have had a particular left-wing film maker and activist and a particular author who'd written since the early 1960s, mostly about her experiences as a white American, both in and out of America, going to Paris to dance, going to Africa to live for an extended period of time. And some of you know I'm talking about Maya Angelou, but I bet some of you don't yet. So I will clue you in. Absolutely. Even though they were both live people at the time, I admired both of them so much that they would have been like symbolic of everything to me at the time. I still love and admire both of these people. I think they're amazing human beings, but I have expanded whom I admire beyond those two who hit me through books and through television screens when I was all of 16 years old. This can also therefore include fictional characters to me. If you're really inspired for some reason by Desdemona, I'm not seeing it, but okay, I don't see why she wouldn't be represented. She represents a certain set of ideas and ideals. And that's part of what you're looking for when you're setting up your ancestor altar. You are absolutely looking for what's valuable and admirable and wonderful about your ancestors. And believe me, I've got some ancestors that I do not admire. And I've got ancestors that I know better, and I know it's a really mixed bag. And I have to accept them for who they are, who they were. And, if life goes on, for who their descendants will be. Nothing wrong with that. I acknowledge the faults, but I also admire what was good. And I think that's a careful balance that you have to make. There are people whose behavior is so egregious to you personally that you can't include them. There's nothing wrong with that. There are people whose behavior is a real mixed bag, but you can separate out and go, okay, these things were amazing. This is how they showed me they loved me. This is how they expressed love to other people in the family. Maybe they were 2 generations ago and you never met them, but you've heard the stories, good and bad. And you know that they loved the family that you're part of. They would have loved you, but, they might not have expressed it always in ways that were healthy for you or those other people that they were around. But there would always be something they did right. And that's what I choose to emphasize, what they did right. Acknowledge what they did wrong, but admire how they stood up to somebody when given an order to discriminate in the military. Thanks, Grandpa. Admire the fact that they could make everybody feel like they were the favorite person in the family. Admire the charity work they did. and the fact that they cared enough to reach out beyond their own little world. Whatever it was they did, whoever it was they were, you're after the very best of them. You're after admiring and really reinforcing in yourself the very best of your ancestors, philosophical, emotional, and actual. So I don't think it has to be a complicated thing, but I think you do have to set aside regular time to spend on this and on these relationships. Even though if they're about people who've passed away, they're relationships in your own head, but still those people echo around your head. If you grew up with them, you know them, or if you've read all their writings, you know them to a degree, and they're going to echo in your head. Setting aside a little time to listen to those echoes, that's really what you're looking for with ancestor worship. You want to just become a little more attuned to those ideas and what those people represent to you. And in doing that, you might find yourself suddenly seeing something at a distance and thinking, oh, that reminds me of the time when, and brings a smile to your face in a way that you would have missed had you not been focused a little bit on ancestors. And that's a positive thing that reminds you how good you are, not just how good your ancestors were, but they're your ancestors. And being your ancestors means that there's a little part of them in you. And you can admire that trait that you share, or that trait that you're working on and improving. Even if it's a trait that they didn't do that well with, but you figured it out. Congratulations, by the way. And you're improving it. And that's amazing. And it's a good reason for those folks to be part of your ancestor altar. How often should you do this? Well, that's up to you. For some people, it means bringing flowers to a gravesite once a year, maybe on Mother's Day or on a birthday. For others, it means giving a little offering once a week or once a day. And if you are going to leave an offering that can go bad, I'm just going to say that what you're offering is the spiritual essence of the item, not the item itself. So once it's been left out overnight, it's time to either use it or dispose of it, because they've gotten what they wanted out of it by that. So by all means, leave out that apple for them, but don't be afraid the next day to pick it up and either sacrifice it to the earth, compost it essentially, or to eat what is left yourself. They have gotten the taste of the apple, the spiritual taste of the apple themselves already. You're just graciously helping them dispose of the leftovers at that point. As you go through that, also be prepared to gain new insights to how those people lived and worked and what their lives were like, and how that impacted their relationship with you, if you had one, and their relationship with everyone else in the world. You might find yourself learning more about yourself by exploring who your ancestors were, and that will help you grow and improve as a human being, and that's a wonderful thing. So don't be afraid to do that kind of work. There are a number of books, and if you look at Tuesday's Last Magical Tuesday's 5-minute video, you'll see a little bit of information about this, and you can find the QR code there, which was really just me going to magusbooks.com and typing in ancestor into the search engine and creating a QR code for you all to go and look. So you're also welcome to just go to the website, type in ancestor, and find all the books and other tools that might help you in that work. Wow. On behalf of everybody here at Magus Books in Minneapolis and online at magusbooks.com, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see many of you at the Resistance Ritual. Register online when you get a chance so we know you're coming and we know what to prepare. And in the meantime, blessed be.